Well, hello people, so it's Peter here, down in the old man shed. It's Tuesday afternoon, it's what, 4:15, and it's flipping hot. The shed, we're just shy of 30 degrees here in the shed. Wow, blimey, it's hot. Anyway, the layout is fine, so what I do, just come down, checking in, saying hi, doing the usual thing, and put a load of clips at the end of this, so you know, if you just want to fast forward to the running clips, go ahead. Done nothing to the layout, it doesn't need it, I'm pleased to say, touch wood. The last purchase were the 2 nuclear flask wagons from Accurascale. Greg, who runs a layout called Gordon's Lane, he asked me to put a couple of end of train lamps on a couple of wagons that he will run on the layout. So yeah, you know, so we go, gave me all the bits. So one of them was this one I've done before, so that was an easy job to do, because you know I've obviously done it on one of these anyway, and that was straightforward. Although Greg's he weathers his, you know, I don't weather mine, so his is weathered. But the other one, and you'll see, I took a video of showing them before I gave them back to him, so he could see what they look like. And the other one that he wanted the train lamp put on are the container flats, you know, so these container trains that you get. So he's got 14 of these Dapol container flats, GBRF livery. I don't think you can get them for love nor money now. I had a little look because I thought, oh yeah, you know, they look interesting, but you can't buy them. But he's got 14 of them, and when I'd done the end of train lamp, I was successful in doing it. I then videoed the flats going around. You know, I was able to get 12 of them on there out of the 14, and it was a nightmare of a job trying to do it, you know, get them to pull round. I mean, you know, Torridon Road is as simple as it can get, and yet it's because these flipping things are fitted with tension locks, you know. My pet hate. And what it was, had they been mine, I would have taken the tension lock couplings out and put magnets in. But not only just that, on the Dapol wagon, the NEM pocket that does pivot, it's obviously got a screw, and I've had this before with other Dapol wagons. I've had to loosen the screw because it's too stiff. It doesn't give it pivot, or there might even be something that's stopping it from going further from side to side. And I've snipped them off. Where is it? I've got one of these, one of these wagons, yeah. I've got it here. Oh, what's that? And I've had to do something to the to the magnets in order for these things to pivot side to side a little bit more, which it wouldn't have done out of stock. So yeah, so this is Dapol, lovely wagon, but you know, just needed a little bit of tweaking just to get it, excuse me, running right. And I think the same would have been done for these, because I had a nightmare of a job. So when you see the film clips, I've got 12 wagons going around, but the 2 wagons I just couldn't, because nothing I could do unless I would have started interfering with them, and they're not my wagons at the end of the day, so I didn't want to, you know, giving them, you know, that. No, I can tell Greg what I think is the problem. If he wants to go ahead and he might sort it out himself, but I think they need loosening off, because as I was going round the corner, one was pivoting a little bit, the other one that was stiffer, it pulled it off because it was so stiff it didn't give at all, and it just pulled the one off next to it, you know, and it was, oh bloody hell, one after another. So in the end it was a mixture of sort of like running the loco quite slowly, so it had time for the thing to go round the curve and not be such a shock, and it wouldn't pull it off, it would stay on. So I did get a film, but what a job, nightmare job. But anyway, I was successful in putting an end of train lamp onto it, and I'm quite pleased with it. But had it been mine, there was something I would have liked to have, I would have experimented a bit more, because I'm sure what I would like to have seen was the flashing lamp working away on a virtually empty spine. You know, have the container at one end, and then there'd be spaces for 2 more containers which wouldn't be there, and then, you know, and then you'd have the flashing lamp on the end of a bare spine, you know, apart from one thing at the end. So I would like to have done that, but I didn't have enough wire left to do it, and also to hide the gubbins and everything. In my mind I would have had to drill holes into this spine of this wagon, which I think was made out of plastic, and so therefore could have been hollow. But of course I wouldn't have known until, you know, until I bit the bullet and tried to go ahead and do it. But I didn't, because it's not my wagon at the end of the day. I knew what I could do would work, so I stuck with what I knew and didn't experiment any further. But you know, had it been mine, I would have done something different. But anyway, you'll see that going around. But otherwise, yeah, that's it, guys. So in the film coming up, oh dear, talking about couplings, then it gave me the idea just to show you, you know, how I can, you know, by using the Hunt couplings and everything, how I get away running the trains that I do on Torridon Road, right, going around second and third radius, and how successful it is, and yet how close everything is as well. So, you know, my ambition, or my you know, project every time I get something is how can I get that running as close as possible and yet still get round Torridon Road. So I made a film demonstrating something, and in that film I used this, right, 8 of these, and in the film I'll keep calling these bloody things Mark IIs, alright. Of course they're Mark IIIs, alright guys, and I know I do know they are Mark IIIs, but it's what I said to you in the last film, right? It's just me, it's just a camera, I'm pointing to myself, I'm trying to sort of think, you know, trying to you know, remember everything I want to talk to you about, but what's going on in there doesn't come out of here correctly, right? And then when I look back at the video, what I've made, I think myself, oh god blimey, you know, just do that to you, Peter. And then in the video editing program that I use on the Mac, I don't tweak with it that much. It takes forever anyway. You know, I know how to add a title over the film, so I thought myself, all right, keep calling them Mark IIs. So let's you know, write over that they're Mark III. Same with the locos. They're called a loco. They're two Class 66s, but one is the Hatton 66, and it's in the same livery as a Bachmann Class 66. You'll see that in the film, all right. So, and yet I call them both Bachmanns, all right. Oh dear, I'm getting like Alan now, bloody laughing at my own bloody video making. It's bad, isn't it? So yeah, so I do know what I've done. So I edited it and said, oh no, I mean Mark IIIs, not Mark IIs, you know. And then thought myself, well that's it. And it like takes forever to render the film and everything. And then I played it back again, and blowed me down a few frames further on again. I called the same thing again. Do this. I thought, oh, I'm not gonna repeat myself, you know, re-edit it all again and this, that, and the other. So I do know they're Mark IIIs. So please don't write in. I'm just an idiot, okay? But still. Anyway, so, but you'll see on that film how I get things running around Torridon Road, all right? And yet I had a heck of a trouble with these container flats. They were empty. I mean, it looks fantastic because what is it? An old guy I like who goes out filming in the real world, goes on these travels. He's a good old boy. Smilo-Vision, I think it's called. And I don't know, it's just something, you know, it's just this old man. I mean, poor bloke is getting on in years now, so, you know, don't know how much longer he'll be doing it for, but he goes out and he likes to film, you know, freight in the real world. And more often than not, you know, he'd be at the railway station, the freight train comes in, and behind the loco there's a couple of wagons, you know, containers behind the wagons, and then all of a sudden there's like 14 spines, nothing on them at all. And that's what I think you'll see the representation that I've got of these things going around my layout. Looks pretty good actually. But anyway, but I got the damn thing working all right. So it looks the point. So I think Greg is very happy. And yeah, if you go to the shows, and I think we're going to be a great electric train show with it. To be honest, it's called Gordon's Lane. I think the club's going up there. I mean, obviously it's not that long away now, isn't it? We're nearly at the end of August. Anyway, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure, nearer the time. Right, that's it, I think, guys. I don't think there's anything else. I've tried to recap everything, so yeah, that's it. I'll leave it at that. Oh, I've also on my new nuclear flask. I've already warned, I forgot to turn the battery off the other night. So I've already gone through one set of battery. I'm terrible. I've really got to investigate how to, you know, pick up from the track. Oh, it's because they're a nightmare. I just forget to turn the bloody things off, you know. So if you get the batteries for them, make sure you get a, I mean, pack of 10 for £3. 10 batteries for £3. I mean, it's like, you know, just get a load of them. Don't be penny, because I'll tell you, you know, you're going to make them. You know, you're going to forget to turn them off. Yeah. So that's it. Love and leave you, everybody. Thanks for sticking it with us this long. If there's something else that comes up, thank you, Mr. Crow. You know, get on if there's something interesting that comes along in between now and the Great Electric Train Show and everything. I'll make another video. But until then, I'll just stick a load of clips on after this. All right. So that's it, people. All the best until then. Because I'm going to go in because I'm flipping hot now. Because any minute now the sun's going to be shining on my back. Bye everybody, thanks for tuning in, and you take care of yourselves, alright, bye. Oh Alan, I like the new engine shed, very nice, well done mate. Right, let's have a little look then, and I'll do a video on this in a second, but at the moment in time we have this train going around quite happily, quite a large one, Bachmann 66, 8 Hornby Mark II coaches being pushed along at the back by a Bachmann Class 66, but in the same livery as the Hattons, in the modern DRS livery. And because one's a Hattons and one's a Bachmann, the numbers are different. So, and yes, if you put them together, you would see the differences between the two makers. But to be honest, they don't look too bad running around as a complete train as we're doing here. But you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, that's all very nice. You're just running around in a loop. You know, they're held together with magnets, and the magnets aren't cool, you know, sort of like, yes, they can cope with just being going around on a nice simple third radius loop. Well, the next video is going to show you something, so let's get into that, shall we? Okay, here we go. Obviously I've got the sound turned off because otherwise you wouldn't have heard me, but there we go. And there we go. I need a 66 at the end, it's got its red lights on, yeah. Okay, so what we're looking at then, guys, coming into view now is the Hattons Class 66, complete with its rotating actual boxes and everything, all running sweetly. 8 Mark II Hornby coaches, followed up with a Bachmann Class 66. Now, why am I showing you this? They're going round and round and round, as you can see. Now, can you see how closely coupled they are using Hunt couplings? So there's not much of a gap between the coaches. Here she comes. I think you'll find that's quite a nice gap between the coaches. So that's the Hunt magnetic couplings doing that. And then there's Bachmann 66. But why am I showing you this? Well, as you know, Torridon Road we're looking at the second and third radius tracks there, and then in order to go from one side to the other side, there are a set of points which are the straightforward Hornby set track points. But look at this. Don't forget how close together those coaches are. There's hardly any gaps. That's how she gets onto the inner circuit over there, because we've got duplication of the points. So she goes from the third radius across Hornby set track points into the second radius, under the estate, coming around there. Let's get back onto the third radius. No problems at all. Look how close those coaches are. Not bad, is it? There we are again. So this is what I, sort of strive for. I'll get rid of the tension lock coupling straight away. I mean, they would be causing havoc coming across those points if these were fitted with the tension locks. But look at that, no problem whatsoever. Let's have a look straight down, and you can see, or let's have a look at the bogies when they come across the 2 points. You can see there's quite a lot of action going on. But no problems whatsoever. Same with the Bachmann 66, and this is the Hatton 66 with rotating axle boxes. Absolutely no issue whatsoever going across Hornby set track points. You can see of course there's a lot of movement because it's not a pretty sight, but it works. I love it. It's not often I don't often do this because I'm not keen on the look of it, to be honest, because it is tortuous, and so they are what they are because of the size of the layout. I couldn't go for streamline points, make it look very realistic. So yes, you do get a lot of separation between the coaches. There's no derailment. They're as happy as a pig in you know what. Happily being pulled at normal speeds going across the set track points. And yet, let's have a look at that gap. Look at that gap. There is a gap. Let's do this one. See, there is a gap, but it's hard. It's like you can't get any less than that. It would be touching. But when you look at it from normal angle, that gap. It's not. There it is. There's the gap. So I'll give you that. But my gosh, come on. Let's stop it now. Let's have a look at one of those. Let's have a look and see what the gap is, shall we? So, waiting for it to stop. There's 8 coaches here, so there's going to be enough. There's enough time that it's going to stop in front of me. There we are. So there we are, perfect. There's the gap. So let's separate it. There we are. So little hunt couplings, okay. Look at that. You can't, I can't get it any closer without it causing trouble. There's play in the bogies, so if they was getting pushed, they would be actually touching the corridors. And there is actually little knuckle joints there. I think I've left in situ, so that or maybe it's not on that one, but still. But there we are. No issues at all. So when you look like that, you can't see there's a gap. It looks very nice over the top there. What I've done, guys, on these coaches, they've been painted, well, not painted, I've used tape to cover over the corridors, and then not painted, but I've with a black marker pen, I've gone and gone over Tamiya tape to make it black, and then I've stuck them over the edges of the corridors, because as you know they are half black half white, and so it's a really weird thing to have, and it stands out, you know, especially when it's going across these points. It really stands out like a mile. Let's just move this on and I'll show you what the back of this one looks like, because I haven't touched this one. So where the coaches are connecting together, to make the gap less obvious, here we are, this is the Bachmann wagon. See, there's the black and white bit, so that's standard. I don't know why Hornby do it, but there you are. So all I've done is I've got the Tamiya wide tape, gone over it with a magic marker, black magic marker, so there's no painting involved, completely covered this area, and then made it all cut back. And then, hold on, let's just move the Bachmann out of the way, and then let's have a look at the back of this one. So there we are. So that's what I've done. So there we are, and that's tape. Alright, that's all that is. So there's no harm done to the coach. I could take that off any second now, because that's all it is, it's just tape. But when that, let's see if I can drag it through. Look at that, it's dragging the class 66. That's how good the magnets are. But you see, when they're like that, you don't see, you know, because there's no white to see, it's not as glaringly obvious as what you can see there. And that's what I like. Let's drag this back. Let's see. Right, so that's going on to a Bachmann 66. There we are. Strong enough to pull the Bachmann 66 along. Okay, there we are. My favourite little, what I like to do, try and get the coaches and the rolling stock as close to possible, and yet it still has no trouble getting around the second and third radius curves going across Hornby set track points. They're the standard points, which I believe is this little gap there is a second radius. All right, that's why they can do it. Okay.